Okay, we got Larry David, one of our favorites that we've been trying to get for a little while, but of course we know he doesn't like to do anything. And but he made it. He came to the house. Actually insisted on it.
He drove in, and we were very flattered. Is one of the guests we wanted to always get, possibly the most influential comedian or best comedian of the last many years. But yeah, he had a great sense of humor. I do go off on a few bits. I apologize for that.
Yeah, I think the crowd will be just as happy as he was. He was laughing so hard. He's a great crowd. We touch on a lot of topics. And
Seinfeld, Curb, all the usual things.
The usual suspects and some other stuff. We sort of jumped around, talked about the 50th, talked about the 40th, and now...
and talked about the 30th.
And we talked about, I did Curb, and I walked you through the process. And overall, I think we ended on a real high note. He was laughing pretty hard, so that was a real victory.
Enjoy the episode.
Fun. Yeah, you'll see what happens.
Always say no. Always say no.
It's the best advice you could give anyone.
Never agree.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. They go, why did I say yes to this? Why did I say yes? Everybody goes through that every day.
Yeah.
People cannot say no. It's so impossible.
Well, if you're turning down a lot, it's a rhythm thing. No.
But at least you're known as someone that says no.
How many podcasts do you turn down in a year? 300.
I don't want to.
Over 1,000?
Over 1,000.
I don't want to sound immodest.
2,000?
There is, listen, Nancy Reagan had it right. Just say no. And no one listened.
Yeah, completely.
She was right on a lot.
She was talking about drugs.
Well, can I do my Reagan?
He got his Reagan in.
By the way,
early.
I'll sit here for an hour and just listen to you.
Well, I like this rhythm. I'll see if you like this rhythm. It's Reagan dealing with modern enemies, right? Who are they? What? Tell who? Banny what? What they do? To who? Where? When? How? Why? Well, then we have no choice. Fire away with everything we got, and then call them and see if they're still there. There. That was it. I made Larry David laugh.
I've got one for you that if you can do, I would just ask you to do it every time I saw you.
Okay.
A younger Biden, not the old Biden. A younger Biden. With that Baltimore.
I don't have one of those.
That Baltimore accent.
I know. Well, that's very specific.
You know that accent I'm talking about? They did it in that series. What was it called with Kate Winslet?
Oh, yeah. This something. Mayor.
Yeah. And they had that.
No, I know. It's very
they all
subtle.
had that accent. He's got some of that.
Right. This never doesn't get a laugh in stand-up. And I'll do it over and over again to the audience.
Yeah.
No, I mean serious. And I say to the audience, I will keep doing it until you don't laugh. No, I'm getting around here. Yeah. I'm serious. So,
see, you're so lucky that you can do that stuff because
I don't have jokes.
Well, I mean, if something you do isn't working, then you make them laugh again. You always have a laugh at your disposal.
For sure.
Most stand-ups don't have that laugh at their disposal all the time.
It's terrifying to go up, and if you don't have a go-to something.
Right.
Dana's got great stuff. And also, you can put a 10% joke in an impression, and it's worth 100%.
And just ride the rhythm. I put on my notes. Stay here. Don't be in a hurry. Stay here. If it says Ross Perot, you're going to do him for or Anthony Fauci.
Every president since Calvin Coolidge, he does, and the crowd's like, yeah, they freak out.
But a young Biden, that's a challenge.
Yeah. You do FDR?
Now I'm doing JFK. Yeah. We don't do it because my bit on JFK now is that he needs an AI. Bobby needs an AI that his voice will then go to JFK's voice.
Oh, Bobby's?
Yeah, because we all sound like Bobby. If we smoked pot in high school, it'd be like, I can't believe what the pharmaceutical companies are doing. Introducing JFK AI. We understand that the pharmaceutical companies are doing. I'm just going to do this all afternoon.
Oh, come on! I'm thoroughly entertained.
But it's a good audience.
I have to finish the line
to listen to it. Go ahead.
See if you can say we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. We're the right age group.
Yeah.
Crickets up here. Yes. So
So you're settled in.
You said yes, you're here. Do you need
Yeah.
anything?
I'll open some water here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got you some of the high fancy water from your rider.
Has any human
How
performer?
about those people who they want like grape jelly or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Have you ever seen your writer? I don't know if you do a lot of stand-up. Have you ever seen your writer?
What
No.
are you demanding?
Me neither.
I feel like yours is a little below J-Lo, but above Chris Kattan.
Let's see.
I've had people in tears coming at me. I'm coming backstage for the gig. We only have 3 towels.
Yeah.
I don't.
We couldn't find Triscuits.
I didn't see my writer. I don't. Anyway.
I don't like to eat anything at all before I'm going on somewhere.
Not even a little bit of
No,
a bite of
nothing.
chocolate.
No, nothing.
You
Yeah.
still do stand-up? Do you go out and do like an hour?
No, last year I did. I was interviewed
Mhm.
On stage.
on stage.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Cha-ching.
One of like these bullshit things?
yeah, something like this. Yeah,
Yeah, those are the best though because it's not really.
yeah. It's not stand up.
It's not that hard.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard before the pandemic. Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Remember her? You know her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was doing interviews.
Check out the call sheet. You'll remember.
She was doing interviews for corporate events. I thought, oh man, that's so nice. 20 minutes with the CEO.
Yeah.
She
What's
rakes
the
it in.
question that makes you the happiest, and what's the question that is annoying for you? I think I have an idea.
I think now the most annoying question is, are you going to do another season?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, now that we're here,
Did you just say yes at the end, meaning you are? You're not, are you? I didn't know that your special was named Curb Your Enthusiasm. Is that true? Your stand-up
Yeah.
special?
I
And then you
saw
borrowed
it.
that. Yeah. You took that in. And was it 2000? Has it been around that long?
Yeah.
Mhm.
God dang.
2000.
And you've had people on Curb that went on to be bigger stars. You actually got them early.
Yeah. Who?
I'm asking you. Me?
Well, that's exciting. But
No, I do have a Curb story for you.
Yeah.
You might have heard it because you were part of it, but Dana, I did this young man's show. It was one of the great fun things of life is to be on a show that's a fucking hit show everyone loves. Right up, everyone's sensibility. Everyone in the future goes, oh, I want to do a show like Curb. That's the most common thing I hear. It's 10 times more complicated than they can probably think. It seems very easy, looks easy. I think the fun part when I did it was the idea was I don't know if you remember this, you did so many, but you wanted tickets to a Laker game. And you used to work at NBC, so you asked the president of NBC, and they have 2 sets. This is, I think, true anyway. So they say, yes, give Larry 2 tickets. So you go with Jeff, and you're in the rafters. And then you get the binoculars to see, oh, they have 2 sets of tickets. And then you go, who's on the floor where we wanted to be? And he's sitting with me.
Right.
And
right.
so you're like, that motherfucker, why is Spade down there? And why are we up here? I was on Seinfeld. So anyway, we run into you guys leaving. And the part that I thought was interesting, I didn't even tell Dana this, but it's like the way I remember it was someone comes up to me and I think we have the forum or wherever it is. And I think, and that's how big of a production is. You have that, you have extras. We did some at a real game. I think we used those Endeavor seats or whatever, William Morris. And then, so we were at the real game. And then afterwards we get a bunch of extras to stay. And so we were leaving. So me and the president of NBC are leaving and Larry's coming out with Jeff. And they come up to me and they go, you're going to run into him. So be apologetic. Something like that. It was just an idea. No lines. And then I go, and what's Larry doing? They go, you'll find out. So then you guys decide what you want to do. Obviously you decide. And so we come in and we have like a 5-minute talk where I'm like, sorry. Because you're like, why would he be there? I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this, whatever. Then they go cut and then they come back and I go, this one, defend yourself. And it's so funny because you have 5 seconds. So I'm like, well, whatever happens. And I don't know what you're going to do. And then you're like, why would he be there? I'm like, well, we both were on big shows. And you're like, well, I was on Seinfeld. I go, well, listen, we're both top 10 shows. We're both, it's kind of a push. And you're like, a push? Well, just shoot me was the same as, so anyway, it just makes for a fun, real, fake argument, whatever. And then they did like 1 or 2 more of different things. It was a blast.
David?
It's
It's very interesting, honestly, for people to know that because the hard part for Larry is to go in there and decide which is the funniest version, what line. That's just so complicated.
The greatest part I love is when I can tell that you or the great Richard Lewis or Jeff Garland, you're not sure you're doing a take because you're just talking and you might use it, you might not.
Right.
I mean, it's the absolute opposite of a traditional, Larry Sanders was the first that I had an experience like that.
First of all, I never would have done a show if I had to memorize lines.
Smart.
It's too hard.
It's I don't like it, and I'm not really an actor. And you have to
Guilty.
be you have to be an actor to memorize lines. I suppose I could do it, but it wouldn't be fun. Here, I'm kind of making it up as we're going along, and I don't know. It's just I just laughed my way through 12 seasons.
I know it's infectious to watch. The last 20 years, I don't think I've ever gone to any kind of meeting about any kind of show where, it's going to be like Curb, or we're thinking like a Curb type show. Has anyone even landed close to the sensibility? And what is the secret? You don't have to tell us here.
Yeah.
You can cut this part out.
If
there is like one secret.
Tell us who's done it poorly first.
Who's
doing it?
I don't even know who's doing it.
The only thing I can think of is Larry Sanders in the 90s had a sense of 3 cameras going at all times, 16 millimeters, and Gary'd say, you do this, kind of, or say something like this,
Oh, did they improvise a lot?
At least when I was there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was quite like yours, where like you're so improvised. Whatever you have, it's working. Don't even.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to do another season?
Is there anybody you asked to do Curb that didn't do it, like some star that you wanted?
I think there were some people who weren't down with the idea of improvising.
Yeah. Some like to do the lines. They'd be more comfortable.
More comfortable.
It's hard to make lines your own. That's hard when you're doing shows and movies. That's why they sometimes feel stiff, because if you can just play off what's happening at that second and the attitude, that's way more fun. It is hard to do, though.
I mean, the worst thing that actors did on the show is if they would try to be funny.
Yeah. Or they come and going, I'm funny.
Trying to come up with like funny lines.
No.
Yeah.
The hardest part I've seen, even on like for Adam and Sandler in those movies, is a lot of people that come on that have never worked with them. First of all, proclaim their funniness, which is always a red flag. And then they come up and say, I had some ideas for the scene. And for you to be the creator and you can't blame anyone else, and you have to say no. So when they come to you and go, Larry, I thought I'd play it more. I got a guy that talks like this, and you got to go, oh, fuck. Yeah. Can you just don't do that? It's a hard position to be in.
No, it's very easy.
Okay. I was trying to help you a little bit.
It's not hard at all. No, that's not good. Don't do that. Okay.
I've got 2.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
And they would slink away and go, fuck.
Sometimes at auditions, actors would try and cry. I go, oh God, no, stop, no.
Oh man, the 2 metrics now: never have a line that's written that someone has to say, and don't anybody ever be caught trying to be funny, unless the character is trying to be funny.
Yeah,
exactly. That's different. But none of that winking. It's a real Rubicon. You can really feel it in sitcoms when it's just pushed.
Well, I like
you
the
did
stuff.
good. I'm just saying I'm a fan.
The stuff that's played like in a wide shot is always good. Sometimes you get on a movie and they go, Dana and I talk about this, you get too locked into 2 shot, 1 shot, pushing, and you're losing all the momentum and all the fun of it, and it looks too stiff, back, forth, back. Sometimes it's nice, those old Woody Allen or whatever, even Tarantino in a wide shot, just 2 people talking, looks real. You've got to figure out where to look instead of going, look here, look there, we got it. We've seen it.
The Woody Allen thing is a little scary. Because I did.
Oh, you did a couple.
What was the name of that movie?
It's called
A Couple, Dana.
Yeah. Whatever.
Woody Allen.
Yeah. Anyway, I did one.
Once upon.
He doesn't remember.
And, because he does these you got to get it all in one.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole take, I'm going, I got 4 more lines to go. I'm not comfortable at all because you can't make a mistake. There's no cutting.
Yeah.
After my first take, the first day of filming, after the first take, he comes up to me and he goes, not terrible. And now I use that every time somebody asks me, how you doing? I go, not terrible.
Yeah.
That's
a good medium place to be.
Robert Mitchum told me that the guy who played Tarzan because Robert Mitchum was a guest host, and he was the host at SNL. I go, hey, how you doing today? He goes, worse. I go, worse? Why do you say worse? Because I think it was
worse.
Lex Barker, some guy who played Tarzan. He came out of his trailer and said, I feel great, and then did a header, you know. So ever since then, he just says worse.
I love that.
Oh, you did Tough Guys? Is that the one?
I did so much shit. I was so bad. I have a Hall of Fame.
It's so bad.
I can't say lines 175 times between all the takes
Yeah.
and all the close-ups. And by 4 p.m, you first said the lines at 7 a.m. and by 5 o'clock, it's not even English.
Going in tight on Dana.
You guys got some heads of hair on you, the two of you, you know?
Best hair money can buy.
When did you know, did you ever think like, oh, I'm going to have all of my hair for the rest of my life? Did that thought occur to you at some point?
Yes. I had a pretty good head of hair. First of all, it went way up in these corners that are covered right now when I was in my 20s. So I went to a barber. He goes, you're going to be gone by 30.
What? Really?
Yeah, barber. He just saw it going back. But it went back and then it stopped.
Wow.
Very rare.
And then
Yeah.
I do take a little finasteride.
What's that?
I'm sorry?
It's stuff that keeps your hair,
Formaldehyde? What does that do?
keeps your hair in your head.
Really?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey does it. All right.
Dude, I grew up, I put
Yeah.
motor oil. Everything I could find, I threw in my hair, just trying every trick in the book. It's so horrible.
But let me just explain that because we'll get letters, old-fashioned parlance.
Go ahead.
Dosage matters with any med you take. This woman, she was trying to do super vegan and she was emaciated. She was 87. I go, you could have some salmon. Oh, no, I can't. Well, I tried a statin and I had terrible side effects. Would you ever think of taking a lower dose? Ask your doctor. So she lowered the dose, took her cholesterol down, no side effects. So the same thing with finasteride. People were popping it like candy. Then they had sexual side effects, depression. You just need a little bit to keep the hair in your head, and it will grow
I don't
hair.
get it. You had to give her that advice? What? The doctor couldn't tell her that?
She couldn't read the back of the bottle.
Doctors are not really, most of them are just high school seniors that have a lab coat on. They don't know anything, most of them. They're terrible. I mean, right? I mean, do you?
What, doctors?
Yeah.
I still have great faith in them.
Yeah, Dana.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I look at you all
They're doctors, Dana. Doctors.
I know. I used to bow down. We were talking about to a contractor or a landscape architect. We'll put a big tree right in the middle of the grass. Why? Well, you need it. No, you don't.
Well, you know, you can never have a doctor as a friend because you'll lose all confidence. You see, they're so human. How could you?
Right.
You're kind of stupid, actually, in life.
Well, you can read the same stuff they're reading. You can read NIH. You can read Harvard, whatever. You can read everything the doctors.
You can. Why are you reading that?
I do. I
Huh?
do.
You do?
A lot. If I have an issue of something, yeah, I'll look it up.
I asked Dana for
Don't you
medical
ever
advice.
research stuff?
I don't
Larry,
want to
please.
read anything medical. It'll just scare me. I never look at anything medical.
Do you get this when
Your
you go
new
to the
nickname is-
doctor? They talk about everything jokey except for what's wrong with you. Like they come in, how's it going? What's been going on? Are you been on the road? And I'm like, I've been sitting here for 49 minutes waiting, and I know I've got a 6-minute window with you. Like, let's get to the stuff. And then they go, yeah, in the last second, oh, right, bend over and stick a finger in your ass. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot that part.
Did you
Need an
ever
ending.
do a prostate exam joke?
No.
Yes.
I didn't think you would.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I for sure
the
did.
cheesiest one that always gets. I don't do. I've never done one. I've never written one. But the one that made me laugh the most was "Look, Ma, no hands."
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stock joke. It wasn't mine.
Yeah.
No, the joke that you try to bury into real life is when I was playing the Mirage, I go, David Copperfield was in the steam room. I milk it out so long, and they go, he was in the steam room? And I go, yeah. And he's sitting next to me, but his towel slid off. He was just sitting there weird. And he goes, hey, I go, can you do magic now that you have nothing here? And he goes, yeah. And I go, it's not real. And he goes, all right, quickly. He goes, get up. He gets behind me. And he goes, all right, do you feel my thumb in your ass? And I go, yeah. And he goes, ta-da. Reaches around me. So it
Standing
was sort of
ovation.
magic.
That's funny.
Funny. Did you ever do a Hitler joke? You do a lot of Hitler jokes. I'm not talking about the editorial, but
Yeah.
just because everyone has a Hitler joke. What's your best Hitler joke?
I did. I used to do one in stand-up. It had to do with about Hitler going to a magic show.
That's already
It's already fun. Anything Hitler does is fun.
And he goes backstage after,
Mhm.
and he's very insistent on finding out where the rabbit is. And you know, magicians have a code. They can't tell how the tricks are done.
Right.
And Hitler's going, "Where's the rabbit? I'm very curious. Where's the rabbit?" And he goes, "Well, mein Führer, you know, we're not really allowed to. It's a code amongst me." Yes, but where is the rabbit? It was something like that. Yeah, I forgot the rest of it.
Where was it?
Did you do that in the 99
I
special?
understand.
I did.
Yes, I remembered it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a Hitler joke?
You know,
Right one.
I don't think I have one because, I did have a book when I did my first book. Oh, a couple people remember? Thank you. I used a picture of me when I was 5 years old. My mom had me in a little blue suit with white hair down to here. And it was a weird shot down on me in front of my old apartments. And I'm just standing so stiffly that I said, what if we called the book Mr. Hitler Will See You Now? Because I was like a 5-year-old kid, looked like a little Aryan. And it got universally no. So, and I'm kind of glad because I sort of skim over stuff. I'm from Arizona. We were never into religion. We were never into many things that could be very offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so we joked about everything, racism, all this. So sometimes I would stumble in my act and say things too far, and someone would pull me aside and say, I wouldn't say that anymore. And I wouldn't know how deep these things went or hit. And I'd be like, okay. So it took me a while. Even on that one, it was a little late in the game. But to even say I should do that. But Hitler gets thrown around and it offends too many people. I'm not Jewish.
I did a
can't
Hitler
say.
bit. I was doing a benefit for Cedars-Sinai cardiology department, and I did a Hitler bit. A guy had actually put a stent in my chest. Goes, do you know where you are? You know, and do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go.
It's not a bit. It's an observation because I thought I don't have any original observation about Hitler, and then I thought of one, and I want you to tell me you've never heard it before, hopefully, or you've heard it before. All we do is see Hitler throughout history screaming, "I the son of a..." We never see him talking normal. We do this for a living. He must be exhausted backstage, just wiped out, almost effeminate. Yeah. Oh, Himmler. I can't feel my deltoid. Whoever said to do this, shoot him.
He gets off stage and goes to the green room and he's like, they were good. They were pretty good. He's
but
back
just
to his normal voice.
exhausted Hitler Langeres, Göring, my little Luftwaffe man.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't fat shame yourself. I have a cookie, I eat it, I put the plate down. You have a good cookie, your brain throws a party, you have 100 cookies. So he breaks down, addiction to carbohydrates.
That's funny.
Okay.
Hitler's green room, what's on his rider?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I look at my notes. There's literally no notes to ask you anything. It's too... Go ahead, Dana.
Whatever you got.
Well, I know this will make you happy. Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
New York Knicks.
Yes. Right in the throes
Stephen
of
A.
it.
Smith and LeBron. Who would win if they went? Because we think we know, but Stephen A. Smith isn't tiny. I mean, I would
Scrappy.
get snapped in half by LeBron.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith would get snapped in half.
LeBron is a beast, man.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I don't know. He's 40 years old. It's just incredible
It's crazy.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
If I had that money, I think, and he's already like such a perfect specimen athlete, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would obviously pour it back into trying to stay alive till I'm 100. I look at Brad Pitt and I go, I don't know what's going on, but if no one's going to get to regular Brad Pitt, he looks even better now. I'm like, fuck that. That's like cheating because he could have been fine skating along. And if he did, I don't say he did because mostly just jealousy and anger, but if he did something, I'm flying to that guy and just saying, do whatever you got to do. Because someone told me on my comments, it looks like I slept on my face. And those sting, Larry. You're supposed to let him go. And
Well, you look kind of the same.
yeah, you look the same
for like
shockingly.
45 years. Because when did your hair? But when did it go white? How old?
It probably started in my, probably in my late 30s.
Wow. Okay,
What?
that was a joke.
Whoa.
So, no, but Steve Martin, the same thing.
Yeah.
He looks kind of the
Steve
same.
Martin was like 12.
I'm working on this baby face with bangs. I'm going to be
Yeah.
70 in a month.
Keep the hair messy.
Really? You're going to be 70 in a month?
Yes, thank you, Larry,
Wow.
for being
He
surprised.
didn't even,
I'm
he
very
didn't even
surprised.
comment you
Isn't
at
that
all.
a great compliment when people are surprised
Yeah.
when you tell them your age?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. But when you tell them eventually you say I'm going to be 70 a month, they go, oh. And you're like, really? Just an O? Yeah. He looks.
The worst is
Can
when
I get a really? Andy Samberg said, you're going to be 70? I go, thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's a great compliment.
Okay, I have something you may not have heard before. Tell me if you have. Carol Leifer was on our show.
Okay.
And she talked about you and Jerry, the dynamic. And she said, you're John Lennon and Jerry is Paul McCartney. Have you heard that before? You probably have heard it.
I've heard it. It's quite ridiculous, but I've heard it. Yeah.
But then it makes you unpack it a little bit in your brain. Like, well, wait a minute. How am I Strawberry Fields and he's Penny
what would
Lane?
you rather be out of those
Both
two?
geniuses.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. I think I have a feeling our dynamic was maybe not fraught with the friction that theirs was. So we
Okay.
didn't
Well,
really
I
have
asked
that,
Paul
yeah.
McCartney about it. And he said, well, the difference was, they were doing comedy and we were doing strumming and singing. So it's a different thing. And the analogy doesn't quite fit, Larry David looks the same for the last 40 years. I go, I totally agree, Paul.
Were you on CBS Radford a lot?
Yeah.
That's right. I think we were there at the same time, honestly. I think Just Shoot Me, Will and Grace. I
We were
think you
there
guys.
up until 98.
What was the call sheet? What was the order of the cast?
Have no idea.
Larry,
Never looked at it.
tell me.
You mean the Seinfeld call sheet?
Jerry,
Honest to God,
one.
I never looked at it once.
What do you think it was, Dana?
I assume it'd have to be Jerry.
And then we'll keep going.
I mean, it's a good question.
what's those four in a row?
I never looked at it.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus, number
Two?
Number
She was
two.
probably a bigger name, right? When it
Well,
started?
Julie wasn't in the pilot. Jason was in the pilot.
Oh, he might have inched
So
ahead
maybe
and
he
leaned at
inched
the
ahead
tape and got
because
to
of
number
that,
two.
Yeah.
I was not an early adopter. I was being wined and dined by NBC to do the Letterman slot, Warren Littlefield, and having lunch with
You
him.
mean
and,
a talk show host?
yeah, they
You
wanted.
were gonna be a host on, on
oh, yeah.
television.
Yeah, I know. It seems amazing.
He'd be great.
It wouldn't work at all. This is my first.
No, he'd be great.
Well, maybe if you had David as the co-host, it might have worked.
We would
he
need both
would've
of my
been-
Andy Richter. No, but basically they said, we have this new show. I think only 4 had been made or something. It's called Seinfeld. We think it's going to be really big. And they told me about it and who was in it. And I just thought to myself, oh boy, that's not going to happen.
Bomb.
That doesn't sound like a winner.
Yeah, I
agree with that?
Whatever I'm involved in, I never thought would work.
Mhm.
So no, I thought it would be gone very quickly. I was just doing it for the pilot. I would
Sure.
do a pilot, get
Mhm.
paid for the pilot,
Right.
and then that would be it.
Yeah, the chance of pilots going are so slim,
Yeah.
especially. And you're coming off SNL then? Was that SNL to that? So it's
SNL
much
was
later.
84, 85.
How'd that go?
Oh, swimmingly.
Well, you made up for it.
It just shows that you just don't know. You need the right situation or whatever, because for you not to do great on that show and then you go off and do, well, some people do that. They have trouble there and they go off and do great.
It didn't really bother me that much.
Mm.
I got one sketch on for the
Not
for the
great.
season. For the season.
Yeah.
I got one sketch on. It's like, and it reminded me a bit of a stand-up in a way when I'd be waiting to go on, and then I don't know, somebody famous would come in, and
Yeah.
I'd get bumped and bumped again, and I was actually glad I got bumped because I didn't want to go on anyway. I was happy. I was happy not to go on, and so I don't know. Writers make such a big deal about if their sketch was going to be on. I didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
It didn't really bother me.
Well, when I was there writing, all I cared about was getting picked up again for the next year because there's just no money. So I just
Right.
don't want to look like an asshole. And they'd call Gervitz and Brad Gray and go, Lauren would go, I don't know. We may bring him back. So I'd have to get rid of my apartment.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
every year I did that. And then there wasn't DoorDash, ladies. It was drag your your mattress down the stairs. And then you got to re-put your my apartment was literally a bed, a desk, anything I could just literally carry. And then 2 months later, we'll bring him back. And then I'm like, so I got to go move back, find an apartment. It's so dumb, but they like to keep you on the edge of your seat there.
So you didn't have Lauren. Lauren was not.
Oh, you didn't have Lauren?
No, I didn't have Lauren.
Oh, I was just doing an
No.
impression. It was a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, you didn't know.
Well, no, he's hosted twice.
I knew you were doing Lauren. Yeah.
It was a very subtle,
No, Dick Ebersol.
it was
Okay.
too
was the
real.
It's kind of
executive
a
producer.
sporting event. Someone said about SNL. It's rock and roll. It's loud. I mean, there are subtle. Jack Handy used to do his deep thoughts, and there are subtle
Right.
sketches.
It's funny.
But I think I heard that you and Jerry just said for sure at this point, we're just going to do the show for ourselves. We're not going to try to project what the network or even the audience will like. That's what I felt that Seinfeld.
That's
why
what
did
we
it.
did.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
You were at
I remember we went out to dinner very early on, and I said, I just can't how are they letting us do this? I was shocked.
Were the
Well,
audiences
smart.
biting on it, though? It was in front of an audience, right?
Yeah,
They were biting, so you thought, well, something's working here.
it seemed like it.
Because when we were doing ours, I like to keep comparing like they're the exact same. When we were doing ours or any sitcom, they would do it, and then it would get a medium laugh, and then we liked it all week. The people that we thought were funny to each other, and then they go, listen, the youth prisoners that they bust in for the show aren't biting on this one, so let's dumb it down a little bit. And then I go, well, let's not wind up with the one that these guys like, because
Right.
we believed in these jokes, and then they're scrambling and trying stuff. I'm like, then I don't even know what winds up on the show, but you go, you can't do that. Like, it's better to have something where you just pick it and say, this is our style, this is our vibe, like it or not.
it was new, and we've gone through Cheers, Mary Tyler Moore, MASH, all these brilliant sitcoms, half-hour shows, and all of a sudden there's a show with a puffy jacket or a soup Nazi. It just was instantly a different sensibility when I saw it, and I saw at least 13 of them. I don't know how many I've seen, but
We didn't even know how to write a sitcom. We'd never done it before.
You didn't have bad
that's
habits
good. You didn't know
yet.
how to do a bad one.
And there was no writer's room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't have a writer's room.
Who wrote? Well, we knew some SNL people that wrote on there, but was it? I heard the idea was people would walk into a cold, like freezer room, and then it was you sitting there in a chair in the dark, and they would pitch. And then,
I was always very nice.
if you didn't like it, you would hear shame, and they'd walk out. But they said it was. They make it more than it is. They probably because they go, we'd have to wait, and then we go in and pitch, and then Larry would just shake his head.
And you have a big laugh, and so they loved it if they could make
if you could laugh,
they could make Larry laugh in the pitch.
I was always very nice to everyone who came in.
I could imagine.
You're a good crowd right now. You're very open. When I see you out in the world, I don't see that much, but you always seem very loose and friendly. And there's no people. I think people think of this curmudgeon thing that's like a little because it's from the
that's the
show.
character.
That's
Do
me. This is the act. Yeah.
Do more people talk to you? What do they talk to you about in order? They know you. Is it Seinfeld or is it Curb or is it something else?
Now?
Yeah,
Well, now it's Curb.
it's just Curb all the time. It's
Yeah.
Curb, Seinfeld. Curb, Seinfeld.
Was
Okay.
Jerry ever like Jerry?
Good
was
question.
Being sort of a stoic, he doesn't like people being neurotic and creating problems. Because I've gotten to know him a little bit. I did comedians and cars and stuff. And so then I realized when he is abrupt about that, he's really slightly annoyed that someone would create a problem, out of nothing. So he would I'd say, I don't know about my act. How do you write new jokes? Just write them. It was like, And at first I was like, is this guy aggressive? No, just do it. He doesn't like neurotic comedians going, I don't want to play that club. Don't play it. I mean, does he like that with you? I mean, once I understood where he was coming from, we had him in here and I totally got it. He does not like problems that don't need to exist. And he just, no.
Yeah, I like this stance when I said he doesn't do that many specials. And I said, all the comics now, they do a special for an hour and then they have to throw away the material. And he goes, why do they have to throw it away? I go, I don't want to throw it. I go, I have stuff that takes so long to sharpen it and get it to fucking work. And when I go on the road, they want to see a show that works. I don't want to start from scratch. And he goes, listen. He talks to me like I'm a child. He goes, listen, don't throw it away. He goes, do the jokes that work. He goes, people think they have too many jokes that work. He said, when you boil it down, every great comic probably has an hour 15 in their whole career. That's just killers. And I think Leno's like that too. They just boil down to like, get what works and do it. And if some of them are great jokes, it's like songs. I like that. I like when someone does something I like, especially a comic. I go, this is my favorite one. I'm glad they're doing it. I don't want to see, because specials get watered down over time. And I'm like, another one? What the fuck? What do you got left in the tank?
There's 2 jokes of Jerry that still stick with me. That are, one was the moose gets lifted out of Alaska and it's up in the sky and it wakes up. And what does the moose think? I guess I can fly now. I just thought that was a great one. And then the eulogy one. You know the eulogy one.
What's that one?
The number one fear of all human beings is public speaking. So at any funeral, the person giving the eulogy would rather be in the casket. It's a great joke.
That's good.
Yeah. So you had a great partner. And he had a great partner.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah. But you'll be remembered for Curb. My point is this. No, I don't know. Curb's
Dana,
20
do an
seasons.
impression.
Do an impression. You did Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your memory of that? I just did Biden.
Yeah.
Where I was, I don't know.
There was a debate in 2000. The election was 2016.
And Bernie was running. Hillary was running.
Yeah. So there was a debate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was the debate was 2015.
Yeah.
And when Bernie Sanders started to talk,
Mm-hmm.
everything he was saying, I would repeat. I don't know if you ever do that.
Sometimes.
All of a sudden, because he sounded so familiar to me because we're both from Brooklyn,
Right.
that I was able, in a way, to just tap into, the way he talked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he would say something and I would repeat it. And then my agent
Mm-hmm.
called me when the debate was over just to talk about it. Ari Emanuel, he said, "Did you see that?" I said, "Of course I saw it. What do you think?" And he goes, "Oh, okay, I'm calling Lorne Michaels."
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, Lorne is on the phone with Ari, and that was on a Tuesday, and on Saturday I'm doing the show.
Oh, fun.
So you had the 84 experience. Then all of a sudden, 2015, you come on, you do Bernie, and it is a smash. I mean, it's like, oh my God, of course, Larry David.
Oh,
and you
fun.
killed. Must have been fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything you said, you got to laugh.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Did you go to the 50th? You went to the 40th. You did a lot in the 40th, I thought.
I went to the 40th
Yeah.
and I was in the audience and I did some bit in the audience.
Yeah.
And the 50th, I went, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I got sick at both of them.
Okay, good.
The 40th.
Even the COVID in 2015. What would you
in
get?
2015, I got sick at the 40th.
Yeah.
And I was doing a play at the time.
Mm.
And I had to do the play with like 102 temperature,
Ouch.
because you got to go on.
It's
That's
so
what-
gross to
yeah.
be like, I got to go on.
It's
You feel
horrible.
bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I got sick again at the 50th. Got the flu, I think.
You know, something must be there. When I hosted last time, I got sick during dress. The worst fucking anxiety-riddled time. In the middle of a sketch, they go, come on. And I stood up. I was in like a UPS outfit. And I go, and then I sat back down on the set and they go, come on. And the band's like, ba-da-ba. You got 90 seconds. And I go, I don't feel good. And then I laid down on the floor. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? So they walked me to the dressing room, put me in the bathroom. I lay on the floor. And the audience is still there.
Wow.
So it was the last sketch. They just wrapped and they let everyone out. And then they're pounding on the door going, and I hear him going, if he doesn't come out, we're going to have to put a rerun on. We got to tell NBC. And I'm laying on the floor sweating. I don't know if I was food poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started barfing. And then I just sat there in my UPS uniform going, there couldn't be more stress. Already you're sick. And everyone, including Lauren, is behind the door going, are we doing this? It's fine if we're not. We just have to. And so I finally get the door and I go, I mean, I can try. And then they go, all right, let's pull the rerun. Let's just try it. And
Wow.
I started to feel a little better. and I got some food in me, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I got the whammy, and then I did a good solid 70% I gave. And the guy in the UPS sketch, the writer, I could see him in the back going, yeah, you're a real fucking hero. Because obviously that sketch got cut because I don't think I even finished it. You know what I mean?
The thing about it, when I was doing it and I was sick,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember thinking during the middle of it, I don't feel sick. I don't something.
Yeah, your adrenaline maybe or something. Yeah.
That's remarkable. I felt like Fraser in the 15th round last time I hosted. Like, really? Now? Can I do this? And then the same thing. Just pass
once
off
you get
dog.
out
You hear
there.
the applause, the laughs. I
Yeah,
mean, your
yeah.
hosting was good experiences, or was it not really?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
What did Lauren give you a thumbs up?
I
Or
love
what did
it.
Lauren say to you?
Well, they invited me to do it again, so I guess it wasn't a total bomb. But I had, the hardest part was having to prepare a monologue
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I hadn't been on in a long
And
time.
they expect
so,
the world from you.
so I had to write a monologue and then do it in different clubs.
Oh, you had to go out.
Yeah, that was.
It's a lot of
I love you
work. Just
walking
do
up-
Q&A with the
Yeah, I
the
couldn't-
cast.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
some-
that's the
do
cheat.
a
That's
fake
the
out or
trick
sing.
one,
You
yeah.
singing would have been funny.
yeah.
I like you in a club. They go, we have a guest here, Larry David. And you walk up. So dogs are funny, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "What's he doing?"
And then a half hour before the show at 11 o'clock, I was called up to Lauren's office, and the censor was there.
Oh.
And the censor said that I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this bit.
Oh, at 11?
Yeah, at 11 o'clock.
Fuck off!
And there are two bits they didn't want me to do.
Whoa, come on.
Oh, please.
And then I went,
well, the other one, whatever.
I'm going to do it.
You're not gonna do it?
Oh, you
Yeah.
said you're going to.
So I said, no, I'm going to.
Oh, you said you're gonna do it. You're
I
not
said,
saying
yeah.
that.
And I can't. I said, I can't. I have to do
Well,
it.
you have nothing.
And I go, yeah. I go, what? Why is it offensive? I don't get it. Who's going to be offended by this? Lauren, after 5 minutes of this, said, I can't do them. But he said, like, he said to the censor, I don't think you're going to win this one. Yeah.
Oh, he said to the censor.
He said that to
Oh,
the
that's
censor.
good.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to win this one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Let's get
It's
Larry
that
to
thing
make
of
up.
like, you can only take so much from a Larry David.
We've wasted Larry's time enough. Let him go down.
Check his celebrity net worth, and you'll see that he truly is.
You know, when I
That's my
hosted,
other
great story
obsession.
about me. We can cut this out.
We're gonna
Oh, we already did. No, when I hosted, I had it was Sandler was in my trick monologue. I'm only telling you this because it's kind of similar where he's the audience member, but he's playing a goofy guy that he used to do. So he was there that weekend. He goes, "I'll come and we'll do that. That'll be your monologue, so I can worry about the 13 sketches that are about to bomb." And so that morning, Saturday, they say Adam goes, "I got a Waterboy open that weekend big," and he had to fly back to LA. And he goes, I can't do it, pal." I was like, "Oh shit." So I couldn't cover it because it was his character. And I'm like, well, what's my monologue? And then we're like, okay, rehearsal. And I'm like, going, guys, I got to get a monologue at one of the breaks. And they go, and everyone does just do stand up. But I hadn't done it for a while, and definitely hadn't done a club or anything. So there's no practice, which you need a little. Even when we were at the 50th, I just did a set with Chris Rock and Nate Bargatze just for fun because we were out having dinner. And they go, oh, Mulaney and Steve Martin and Martin Short were just here doing stand up. They all came in, everyone did a set. Just like everyone bumped. Super fun night. But I don't get to do that. So I just go, oh, I have this one in my act about a polar bear and about this other one. And then they go, just do that. So the only time I rehearsed it was at dress or right before dress, to try it. But I couldn't really remember it all. And then I had to sit in my dressing room and go, how does that one go? So scary. It went all right. But I know the monologue. It's all.
How come you didn't get them on cards?
I got it. Oh, because I had to tell cards what to put. And I just said, just forget it. Just put monkey, joke, polar bear,
Oh, okay.
and go to a commercial when I start fucking crying.
I don't like stand-up either. I mean, honestly, if any time a show was canceled, I was happy.
You're happy, right?
But if I
Yeah.
go up and I'm killing, I go, well, this is kind of
This is
fun.
fun.
But
Yeah.
I never want to go. And I don't like...
I'm exactly the same way.
I never
yeah.
want to be in a de facto comedy competition. Go to the comedy store. There's 10 comics. I'm going to try new stuff. They're doing their A stuff. Lean into it. And
I
I
did that
just
last
don't
night.
like the people. You were one of the best tonight. I mean, what do I need that for? I'm just like you.
Do you
Don't
do
like it.
corporates? Do they call you to come
No.
in? Oh,
They're fun.
Somebody's
No.
got enough money.
No, I don't get asked.
Oh yeah, it would be
Really?
Fun. I think
I'm
they
going to
like
talk
you.
to my people. Have you ever been in a headlock by another adult male as an adult? Because the CEO was drunk and had me at a corporate event.
You know,
Hey,
it's-
the church
it's
lady.
funny.
fucking guy.
It's funny you should ask me that because at the 50th,
Mhm.
I was introduced to Paul McCartney, and I said to him,
Has anyone ever?
"No," I said to him, "Has anyone ever punched you in the mouth?"
Instead of hello, we love all your albums.
I said, "Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been hit in the face with a fist? Has anybody ever punched you?"
That's fucking great.
And he must have loved it.
Oh wait, we were at
Well,
dinner.
what did he say?
Yeah, the dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You were sitting right next to Paul.
Yeah,
You were hilarious. He
Yeah.
was a good laugher too.
yeah.
He was into it. I think he likes having
He's a
these.
charmer. I
goofball
mean, but
comics, right?
what did he say after you said? He just started laughing.
No,
or-
he did. There was
he
an
thought
incident.
about
There was
it.
an
Oh, he said
incident.
it.
There was an incident in his youth
Oh.
when he was like 13 or 14, and somebody headbutted him. He told me.
He's so charming. There's something on YouTube, you can look it up, but McCartney's going into a nightclub with people. This is like with 5 years in LA. The doorman doesn't recognize him. And they no, you can't go. And then you hear Paul say, "We've got to write more songs. we better go back to the drawing board. We're not big enough." You
Oh,
know.
not famous enough.
So anyway,
That was a night.
I'm going to ask him.
I
that
was
if
sitting
want to.
next to Chris Rock and I came late and I felt embarrassed, but I was 100% not invited. I was meeting for dinner and he goes, "Just come here." And then I realized I was crashing a dinner he was invited to or something, whatever. So anyway, I went and Paul was very nice, whoever threw that thing, just like 10 people. But the funny part was I was sitting just where I could see kind of between, you guys are on the same side as me. So I'm trying to crank my head between Chris and you and see Paul. And here you guys, and Larry's killing. And then every time Paul gets to a story where he says something like I told you, where he's
Everybody
like,
stops.
you know, yesterday, the way I came up with it was one night when I was dreaming, the guy goes, "What potato skins?" And then he leaves and I go, and then he's putting the shit down. He goes, "Top off your water, top off." And I'm like, I'm trying to, and then he goes, I go, "It's a 1/4 inch. We're topped off." And he's like, "I get a little more." And then he comes out and I go, and he goes, "And that's how I came with yesterday." And I go, "Uh-huh." Then he goes, "The last thing John ever said to me, hey, coconut shrimp, hot plate. And I'm like, God damn, dude, I'm missing this thing I couldn't pay enough to hear Paul McCartney
The
talk about this
dichotomy
shit.
between how humble and Liverpudlian he is and the genius
He's
of the
very
music.
little
and stuff.
Liverpudlian.
We sat down here for a plonk, you know, John and I, like looking in the mirror. And that's how we came up with Abbey Road, you know. We just plonked. You know, it's like, what the fuck?
What about Lennon? What would he say?
What would he say?
Yeah.
Well,
Here we go.
let's see, John Lennon, John would be more nasal, you know. Paul was always one of those. Ringo's more like peace and love. They were me brothers. They're me brothers, They're me brothers, peace and love. Can you say anything else? No, me brothers, me love. And then Paul's like this. And George is sort of languorous, sort of laid back. You know, they were the primary songwriters for me. They were my brothers, you know. Oh, we love it. So anyway, I'm obsessed with him.
too much.
What's the
I'm just
Kim
trying to make you
Kardashian?
laugh because you drove 300 miles.
No, it was easy.
Do that Kim Kardashian one. What is that one?
Kim Kardashian one? Oh, that's why I do John Lennon talking to Paul, John from Heaven, because I want to hear them talk, you know. And, what happened to the big orange man, you know? Well, he's president again, but he was beat by another man, you know, named Joe Biden, you know. And he goes, wasn't he, what about, but didn't Kanye West, what happened to him? We went, flew away. We don't know what happened to him, you know. Wasn't he with a woman named Kim Kardashian? How's she doing? I'm doing the short
I like that
version.
John knows a couple little things. in
Well,
heaven.
they talk
a couple
regularly.
of pop references.
Well, you know, she's a nice gal, you know. Well, how does she make a living? Well, she takes pictures of her bottom. What's so special about her bottom? It's not a normal bottom. It's a bottom 2.0. It's like God made a fanny and attached a person as an afterthought. The whole family has big bottoms. All of them are doing it. And if they fall on their backs, they're sort of like turtles. They can't get up again. They have to have turtle wranglers lift them up, you know. The whole family's doing it. One gentleman got so frustrated, he became a woman. So that's a
Jesus.
truncated version
That's
of it.
hilarious.
You have a great sense of humor. Can you come back tomorrow?
Yeah. Well,
I love impressions.
so
Me
fun.
too. If I see
Love
someone,
them. Yeah. Bill Hader was on my show, and he was,
Oh, he's so
oh my God.
just, yeah. Did he do one of my bits, I think? Bert and Kirk or,
Yeah, he
or
did,
Jimmy Stewart.
No, he gave you credit. He did Bert and Kirk.
Yeah.
He gave you full credit.
I know.
Yeah.
It was flattering how much he loves it because I think he's absolutely brilliant,
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves that Bert and Kirk thing. So.
Yeah.
I want you. I want you now. Now take it easy, son. We're just two men having fun. Don't keep bucking around like that. I only got so much play down there. You keep bucking around like that.
So great.
I want you. What are you going to do, cowboy? Come on, I'll take you. So I do this for 20 minutes. I once had John Lovitz throw up in a parking garage because I'll do it for 20 minutes. But
Because he was laughing so hard?
because it goes on and on and on and on,
Shit. That
So I
was
keep
funny.
doing bits?
No, we're doing good. I think maybe we wasted enough of his time.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
this is my current favorite. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, do one more.
'Cause it's not. This is Jimmy Stewart, which I think Conan did. But trying to come up with a new Jimmy Stewart thing is that someone's going to perform oral sex on him, and he does it as Jimmy Stewart. Okay, so it's not X-rated.
Okay. I know this one too.
Yeah. All right. No. You don't touch it. What? No. Just slow down. Now I want you to slowly turn your head and look away. Yeah. That's it. Just look away. Now I want you to forget about it. Pretend you never saw it. Now slowly, but ever slowly, turn your head back around and discover it again. That's it. That's the look I want. Just discover it. Just consider it. Now slowly, so that's my latest
Oh,
toy.
that's just hilarious.
I've never done this many bits
Yeah,
on
that's
a
good.
show.
That's so funny.
Discover it and consider it.
Oh,
Well, I have one where he leaves the house. Now I'm going to go around the corner and get a soda pop, and I want you to forget all about it. You never saw it. Then I'm going to come back, and I want you to slowly turn and discover it again, like it's brand new. Yeah. No, don't touch it. Just think about it. Now back the head up again. I'm going to back up and go out in the hallway. So I'll just go for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
But you're the greatest audience with.
Well,
I love
that's a good
impressions.
closer.
I do too.
It should be your closer. That's a fucking great one.
I'm gonna edit these things together and release it as a special.
So funny. Holy cow.
Anything you need from us, Larry? You do all right.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much for coming here.
You're just an amazing guest, and I don't know what to say other than
I did the best I could.
You did great. We all
You're
didn't want
a-
to do this, and we all did it. And I think
No!
I'm proud of us all.
Did you want to go? Yes. That's all I do with Jerry.
How many podcasts are there?
Over 3
Like
million.
over 3 million
Yeah.
now.
No, honestly.
No, I think there's 3 million. Yeah.
Does that seem too low?
Sounds like a joke. There's 3 million podcasts
There
in
is.
North
I
America.
don't know how does everyone do it? I
We
mean, who's-
Googled it, and that was over 3 million. That was about a year ago, so it's gotta be
Most
more.
don't get past 30 episodes, so they come in and out, but I don't know how. Greg, here's our producer. How do they?
It seems easy. It's kind of
It's-
hard to do.
Digital space is unlimited. That we can all
Wow.
just,
It feels like the easiest thing in the world. So if you're an actor or if you're doing anything in showbiz and things are slow, you feel like you want to do something, like, well,
right.
and then it's like when people used to watch the Kardashians, they wanted a reality show. They go, hey, I argue, I hate my family too. I yell at them in the kitchen. I could do this show. So that's what they think. And then they go to a podcast and it's a little trickier and tougher and a lot fizzle, but some stick around. It's
Well,
a little bit to it.
it's a new tech. So it's sort of like, you do the talk show and you do the pre-interview and you have 2 minutes and they're cutting. And so this is just like us hanging out.
A
So
bullshit
this new
session,
art form of like shooting the rehearsal, doing half-baked stuff. We don't have a script. I had a few questions.
Right.
but,
It's good to have a Dana.
So it
too.
is fun. It can be fun, just because of the freedom of it.
Yeah, and it's great that you're doing it together.
Yeah.
I think, we get along really well.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah,
And then if someone else, whoever we got here, one of us knows something about something. But we let them talk sometimes. We let you talk a little bit.
Yeah, I said a couple of things.
Yeah.
Feel free to cut me out of the whole thing.
We don't need too much.
Well, I'd say I watched you on Conan, and I noticed this morning, and I was like, oh God, Larry loves to laugh. Like you're like maybe the funniest guy, whatever. Let's just say he's arguably the funniest person in this generation. Arguably,
last 300
you're in the
years.
conversation as the funniest person. So to make that guy laugh is just a pleasure.
You heard the Conan podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are having such a good time. And I noticed, because I haven't hung out with you a lot, I just said, Larry loves to laugh.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just thought I'd do a few things.
All right. Thanks, guys.
By the
Anyway,
way, when I did Curb, and this is the last thing I'll say, you had to cut some stuff out, and you called me. Because it's very tough to call someone telling me you had to cut something. So he told me, and the funniest part was, I said, okay, well, I had a great time, and thanks for putting me on there. And then you felt guilty, and you go, now I feel bad. And I go, well, I understand it. And they go, are you being sarcastic? I go, no, I know that these shows go long, and we ad-lib forever, and if you got to take some stuff out, and you go, all right, I'll try to put it back in. And I go, no, it's fine. And it turned into another episode, because it was just funny to hear you feel bad that you had to call me. But it's hard to tell someone that, and a lot of people say, they never even told me. I'm like, it's hard to tell people. It is what it is. If it gets cut, it gets cut. But that was nice.
The people who would design Seinfeld and Curb would have all that kind of emotions, because it's coming from all this humanism.
You're on both sides of it. You know
that makes sense that you would suddenly feel bad, because if you're a sensitive instrument.
On Seinfeld, this guy I knew paid a lot of money to be an extra for charity.
Mm-hmm.
And I inadvertently cut him out of the show. And he had a party. He was going to have people over people over his house. Yeah. Yeah. So
Brad fucked him. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, bud. This has been a presentation of Audacy. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Audacy, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman.